models may be underestimating how much cold air we may be dealing with in March and that the snow potential that we might be dealing with in the near future. Hello guys, welcome back to this unusually warm February afternoon on here on Friday the 13th. Yeah, some of you guys are not happy because of Friday the 13th. Trust me, it wasn't an easy day for me, but we're back. We're back home, and that's the important thing. So, we're going to get right into things because we have a lot to talk about. You know, there's been this, trend flip back, flip back forth. If it's warm, is it cold? Is it snowy? Is it even thunderstormy? There's a lot of things that will be going into this pattern that we will be discussing today further in detail. But we also got to talk about this false spring that some locations may be experiencing. False spring means, yes, it could be warm for a couple days or maybe even several days, and yes, the snow can all melt. However, I think once we get into that March time frame, oh boy, things are gonna get spicy. Oh boy, things are gonna get spicy. So we're gonna talk about here in this video today, and yes, let's get right into things. So, we're gonna start off here with today. Really not going on that much. All we really see is a little bit of a clipper system entering from the lakes, producing some snows and maybe even a snow squall or two that will reach portions of the area in New Jersey by, let's say, 4 a.m. into the northern sections, and then maybe some residual moisture 7 a.m. That could produce a coating to an inch here. I could see someone getting an inch out of that. Depending how heavy these squalls or showers come in, we will have to see how that plays out. But it's snow. It's not rain. It's snow. Now, notice what we start to have here. Saturday, February 14th, we're starting to see our unveilment of our massive low pressure starting to develop there in Oklahoma. Over here on the southern side, extremely warm. That's going to aid in some big time severe weather. Big time severe weather. Already a day 3 slight risk for these areas. Huge risk. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Now, Saturday, Sunday, look at this. I mean, you just get the idea. We're going to be dealing with a very amplified low pressure. Now, here's the thing. Is this low pressure going to be a little bit further north? There's been some guidance where it does that. And there's that potential if it does what it does. I don't necessarily agree that these high pressures will be so close to the northeast. If it pans out that way, that the low pressure comes in just a bit further north, this could be a little bit of a snow event for Sunday. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. Latest European with that Sunday event, it does have that very powerful squall line entering through the south, damaging winds and tornadoes. But even the European this run, it does have snow. It does have that bit of snow that starts to develop in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Look at this. That precip crashing in. Boom. Quick hitting snowstorm, but you are getting some accumulating snow across northern New Jersey, central New Jersey, portions of eastern and southeastern Pennsylvania. Very impressive. This actually does continue for a few hours. So, I would really be watching out for this. If this were to shift a bit more north, we could be dealing with the more major snowstorm if we do see this happen. Keep in mind, this is the latest 12Z European. The fact that we're still seeing these signals out of the European is still quite impressive to me. Now, getting beyond that period, okay? Now things are going to start to warm up significantly. We have a major bombing cyclone off the coast. Watch what starts to happen. Look at what starts happening in the west. Very heavy mountain snow, significant rainfall into the west. Wow, yeah, that's an atmospheric river right there. Look at this low pressure starting to really get those gradient winds kicking together. 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts really gusting up into that region. We have a major low pressure trying to develop near Iowa. This is a system we really need to watch out for. And I could see this being a very bad severe weather threat if this were to pan out. We're going to have to see how everything comes together. However, I could see a southern side to this, and it could be pretty nasty. We're going to have to watch this. But certainly a little bit too warm. In fact, we do get a bit of ice getting here into Thursday, into Friday. And that exits out. And we're on to a warming trend. Look at this, by the time we get into 21st, 22nd, look at these storm systems after storm system. Very cold air, very cold air. But the problem is it's not timed right. Major storm systems, and you're going to notice, look at that major severe weather outbreak by the end of the run. Ah, wow, my God. So, what this pattern is telling me is going to be back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And I don't say, okay, we're going to see major snowstorms and then major heat waves. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, I just have a feeling one of these events will pop off. And we're going to first watch out for this event here. We could see some sneaky 3 to 5 inch snowfalls in here. That could be possible. It is possible. But especially getting into that Wednesday time frame, that is my first period of concern. Why? Is because I think we could get a really bad damaging wind event across the northern tier of the U.S. This could be a very bad damaging wind event. The icon has been showing it. But the fact that we're getting these massive gradients, I'm starting to not like this, you know. I think this could be a pretty bad wind event. And then when we get into the 21st, 22nd, another signal. And I mean, just keep seeing these relentless heat waves starting to build up the eastern coast. And you may say, oh, guys, winter's over. Buzzkill, oh, drama. There's nothing left of winter. I want you to right now cross that out immediately. Because the latest ensembles of the average snowfall means we could be seeing in March are above a half a foot. That is extremely impressive for March standards. March standards. We're not talking January, February standards. This is March we are talking about here. I think March could be a really sneaky setup. Now, we're talking about February and we're seeing these, holy crap, massive severe weather outbreaks. Let's see if the icon is showing that storm for, when is that? Okay, so that is for 17. See, even the icon, this is what I want you to get out of this. I'm going to show you the model trends that are going on here, okay? So, this was the 0Z yesterday. It had it completely south. There was nothing with it. Now let's go to the 6Z. It had a bit more of snow. It had a little bit more of a formidable snowstorm. Now let's go to the 12Z. And it has rain. And then 18Z, it goes back to that snowstorm idea. Guys, I really damn think personally, if this is a continuing trend with these 6Z and 18Z models, that 0Z guidance will be crucial. If we take a look at how much snowfall could fall with that, yeah, we are talking maybe even up to 3 to 4 inches. So, I mean, even to see that is pretty impressive. But that's not my main point. I want to go back here, and I really want to get into that Wednesday and Thursday storm. Does it show it? Yes, it does. Now, what does it do? It has a very strong gradient of winds. But what does that do specifically? This is going to translate eastward. And this is what I'm getting a little bit scared about, okay? Not necessarily concerned, but if these clashes occur, where you're getting this warm front right here, this is a warm front. You see that lifting up north? That's all warm air advection happening from the south. This is an event I'm really going to keep an eye out on. Let me take a look at the temperatures here. Look at that very pronounced ridge that is going on across the central US. Watch what starts to happen when that warm front comes through. Boom. Look at your temperature starting to spike. Look at your highs for Thursday, getting up into the mid to upper 70s all the way into southern Ohio. This is a very concerning sign. And I think severe weather could return big time. For some of these regions, they may be in shock. And let's go here into Friday, February 20th. Massive system up here for the east. This is something to watch. And the fact that we have a very strong low pressure up here is really starting to... I'm not liking this. I'm really not liking this. Why? Is because you got a classic, almost type, warm sector type setup. That warm sector gets all the way into New Jersey. Watch what starts to happen after. Boom, your cold air spills down. And if you take a look at even the precip side of things, look at that very strong wind. Look at these very strong winds after that warm bubble of air. Look at those very strong winds brewing. This is a little bit scary, I'm not going to lie. This is a bit of a scary situation. We're going to have to watch that very closely. Now, does the Euro AI show this? The Euro AI, the trusted Euro AI, does it show the same thing? Well, let's go back here first with our Sunday storm. And yes, it does. It actually does have, it has snow. This is all snow, I think. This is a solid snow event. This is accumulating snow for New Jersey. The fact that the Euro AI is saying this, and the icon is starting to say this, and the Euro is starting to show this, I personally think if anyone says, oh, it's a buzzkill for everyone this weekend, I would be watching my eyes on New Jersey, Long Island, Pennsylvania, and into Maryland. That is a sneaky area where I think there could be a corridor where you can get some very surprising snowfall. And I think this could be accumulating. This could be very interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out yet. But if we do get that type of scenario, this could put down a few to several inches if this happens. And I mean, just look at that perfect positioning of that low. It gives you that moderate to even heavy snow across the coast. Now, let's go back here into Tuesday to Wednesday. Again, massive storm developing here in the central U.S. That warm front is going to lift through. Watch what starts to happen. Major low pressure starting to form. Again, that same idea the icon has. And it's starting to get a little concerning. Now the freaking AIFS, dude, it's going another idea with another bombing out low pressure near the northeast again. And this time you have cold air. Man, I'm telling you, one of these storms could do it. Even in February, late February, I wouldn't be surprised. Look at this bombing out storm on the Euro AI. Holy. Yeah, that's a crazy storm. I mean, you just get the pattern. It's going to be back, forth, warmth, cold. That's the problem. This snow, it's going to stay one day and then it's going to melt the other. It's not going to be this long lasting duration, freezing, Siberian cold air. We're done with that. However, I want to repeat this. I don't want to say this enough. Oh my God, you guys got to watch March and late February. One of these storms will do it. And it just takes one storm like this to make it all the difference. We haven't had a powerful storm like that in years. And several years. We've had foot-plus snowstorms. But this type of magnitude of low pressure, we just haven't had that. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But I'm just getting a little bit more skepticized that March is really going to come back with the vengeance, okay? Now, I want you to take a look a little bit of what's going on in the upper levels here. And we're going to take a look at that as well. Okay. 500 millibar height anomaly. That's going to be a good thing to look at. Okay. So, we're gonna take a look here at okay, North America. Perfect. Okay, so this is your height anomalies as we explained earlier. And you're gonna see as we get throughout this weekend and this week, yeah, it's not too great of a pattern. You see that clearly dominated negative PNA. Yes, and that major storm system crossing across the coast, spreading warmth across the east. That doom ridge, or like the death ridge we call it. But watch what starts to happen by the 18th, 19th, 20th. Yes, you do have that negative PNA, and you do have that positive NAL, which doesn't allow for much to happen. Watch what starts to happen when we get towards the end of the month. So here's your polar vortex here. Your big defined circle in the Arctic regions. Watch what starts to happen by the time we get into the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Wow. Yeah, look at that pattern shift. You go from this defined circle right here, and it's just completely erased by the time we get into... Look at this. I mean, come on, dude. This is a really good pattern for snowstorms. And I want to emphasize, just because you're seeing these red and orange colors popping up here, that doesn't always necessarily mean that's a death ridge and a warm-up. I want you to just notice up here in these regions that usually you would have a defined area of where that cold air is sitting. Watch what starts to happen by the 20th, 21st. You see how that warm air intrudes? I think we're going to see a major stratospheric warming event again. And this lobe of Arctic air is going to smash into the northeast again. By the time we get into early March and into the second week of March, I'm predicting a huge pattern change. And just an absolute complete pattern flip. So we're going to be seeing more of these major Arctic lobes entering through the northeast. Not only that, you got a southeastern ridge working against this. You got a negative NAO as well. And as well, we're going to be entering through MJO phases 3, 4, and 5. And I know you're saying, wow, these are some warm phases. But when you combine these lobes of Arctic air into those phase 3, 4, and 5, very active MJO phases. One of these storms phases, oh my god, this could be crazy. It just takes one storm to give feet of snow and a memorable snow across the East Coast. I'm telling you, if we get into this pattern that we're seeing, it's very likely going to happen. We're going to see a complete dislodgement and displacement of cold air from the Arctic, just completely destroyed by warm air that's invading into the Arctic regions. That's just going to start sending 1, 2, 3, 4 lobes of Arctic air just spinning around and just shooting right across the northern tier of the U.S. That's why I'm saying why the snow average means are very elevated across this area. Again, we can't pull that up really, but you can just envision. This is an extremely good pattern. Oh my god, we are going to get into such a crazy pattern. And don't be fooled by this fall spring. Yes, we will be seeing a fall spring next week. That is true. That is very true. But when we get into that February 25th, beyond that period, oh my god, things are going to get real crazy. We're not just talking about cold air that's just going to be sitting for weeks and weeks. Yes, cold air, but it's not to that magnitude. When you get that cold air, not as cold air, but you still have plenty enough cold with that MJO phase 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, we are talking about something. And then even into the later periods, some models are even going as crazy as going into MJO 7 and 8 again. So my god, we're exiting that death circle of the MJO, and we're just starting to progress through the phases. But oh my god, things are gonna get extremely active, and it just takes one storm to do it. I think March is going to be just a month to remember here in New Jersey. It really could be a month of surprises. Where people just get absolutely shocked at how much snow could fall. I just think people just don't realize what we could still be dealing with. I think that was just the first part of winter for January. The second part is yet still to come, and it's gonna come back with the brutal vengeance on March. So my God, things are gonna about to get active. Things are gonna get really, really just crazy. So I will see you guys later. We might record a video if there's a heavier snow shower or even a squall. We'll see if there's a squall. We're gonna be watching that Sunday storm as well. And again, this pattern here where the freaking Arctic is just completely just discombobulated by this cold air and the warm air that's entering. Oh man, there's going to be some extreme instability in the Arctic. There's going to be some extreme instability. That's going to cause some mayhem in March. So, I will see you guys later, and have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great long weekend. Go de-stress yourself or whatever. You guys deserve it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all. And if you do see some snow showers, go enjoy it. Stay safe. Stay warm out there. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.